Welcome back into Great Day Washington. You know, reading more maybe at the top of your New Year resolution list, or like me, you're just always waiting for the next Brad Meltzer novel to get your hands on, and it's finally here. Meltzer's latest book, written with John Mensch, is called The Nazi Conspiracy: The Secret Plot to Kill Roosevelt, Stalin, and Churchill. And Brad joins me now here to share more. Congrats, another incredible novel from you, or book. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is nonfiction. It's a real story. And it takes place in 1943. It's about the secret plot to kill Roosevelt, Stalin, and Churchill at the height of World War II. And it's this amazing moment where the big three are meeting for the very first time. They're going to discuss Normandy, discuss the Great Invasion, but they got to meet face to face. And as FDR's motorcade comes through the center of Tehran, Iran, everyone's all excited. They want to see the president across the globe. But that's not the president in the motorcade. It's a Secret Service agent acting as a decoy. The real FDR is across town, ducked down and hiding in the back of a beat-up sedan because they're worried there's a Nazi who's going to murder him. And I just ruined chapter 1 of The Nazi Conspiracy, but that's how the book opens, and you see this true story of this amazing moment in history.
I feel like we should know this story, right? How do you keep finding these like little nuggets, these secret stories that we don't know about, and then go on this, you know, rabbit hole, right, that you go down? How do you find these stories?
You know, I love reading the footnotes. I love finding those things and then saying, why does no one know about this? We don't know this story because right after it happened, FDR said the Nazis tried to kill me, but then Normandy happened, and this story became a footnote.
And it took you, what, 2 years to write this book?
It takes 2 years, and the stories in there are incredible. Stories I'd never heard of. There's an amazing moment. There's a Nazi named Otto Skorzeny in the book. And Adolf Hitler asked Otto Skorzeny to come to his headquarters at the Wolf Slayer, his private headquarters. He lines up all of his top fighters. He wants to find who the best fighter is for a secret mission. And they're all standing shoulder to shoulder, and Hitler tests them with one question. He says, "What do you think of Italy?" And it's a test, and they all say, "Oh, we love Italy, we'll fight for them to the end." But Otto Skorzeny, this one Nazi, says, "I am from Austria, my Führer," because he knows Hitler's from Austria. He's sucking up to the boss, and Hitler's like, "You're my guy." So he sends Otto Skorzeny on this mission that when you see it in the book, you're not going to believe it's real. Josh mentioned I literally put a photograph in the book because we're like, we want people to understand this really happened. It's the wildest Nazi story you've never heard in your life.
How do you find the information for these stories? Who are you talking to? Where are you researching?
Yeah, so obviously I do a lot of work. I'm on the board of the National Archives here in DC, and that's great when we're researching Lincoln or George Washington. For this, we had to have researchers who spoke German, who spoke Russian. We found, you know, sometimes they were called brown sheets, was the top intelligence for the Nazis on brown sheets of paper. And they used to, it was like the Mission Impossible briefcase. You had to destroy it after you read it. But we also found that Joseph Goebbels, one of the head Nazis of the Holocaust, used to keep extensive diaries. We were able to read those diaries and see exactly how they broke our cables, our international cables. They knew what FDR was saying to Winston Churchill. It was a huge disaster, potentially. And obviously, I love diving into those moments and seeing them.
Yeah, you were a history major, right? So you love the history.
What gave that away?
Obviously, the story, getting the story out there, it's fascinating. But what do you hope people take from this? What message are you hoping they take from this book?
Yeah, you know, for me, when Kanye West opens his mouth and says stuff about Jewish people, or watching what happened in Charlottesville right here, we all wring our hands and we say, I can't believe that we're fighting Nazis here in America. But we found out that in World War II, there was a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden, 20,000 people cheering. The first speaker that night said if George Washington was alive today, he'd be friends with Adolf Hitler. And of course, while we tell the stories, we want to inform you. We want you to buy it for the history lover in your family, but we also wrote it to warn you that if you don't learn your history, you repeat it over and over again.
So very important. You are a man of many genres. You know, we've got your nonfiction, your fiction, and your children's books. Is there one you kind of have started gravitating towards as your career, you know, has grown?
No, I like the fact that I write fictional thrillers, I write kids' books, and then I write these nonfiction books. And to me, it's like if I said to you, what's your favorite movie? And you said, I like independent film. And I said, great, you can only do independent film the rest of your life. Like, you want to do something different. So I love the fact that I get to tell different stories. To me, a good story is a good story. And these stories that really happen, especially we can show people and say, listen, you know, this book at its base is about using your voice and speaking up when you see injustice. Because the Holocaust doesn't start with death camps. It starts with rallies, and it starts with propaganda and book bans. And that's what you have to do, is use your voice. When you see them picking on someone, that's to me the American dream. It's not money. It's when you see someone who's being picked on and someone who's being targeted, you use your voice and you say, enough. Enough. That's what we do. That's the best way to fight back.
A good reminder for all of us. I want people to know that they can come see you. You've got an event tonight, right?
I have an event tonight in Frederick at Curious Iguana offsite there, which I think is sold out right now, but we'll see. We'll check online. And then tomorrow night at Tyson's Corner at the Barnes & Noble at 7 p.m. So right here locally, I get to see all my friends and all my family from D.C.
How happy are you to be home?
I'm happy to be home. All I do is ride around and I go, I lived here and I ate here, and I'm going to go get all my food that I love this. So this is the one that they know I'm going to eat best.
Well, congrats again on this new book, and thank you for bringing this fascinating story to us. It's so good to see you.
Always love seeing you.
Always. All right, remember, you can see Brad tonight. Check it out. Maybe it might be sold out. We don't know. The Curious Iguana at the Downtown Community Room. That event starts at 7. But tomorrow night, Friday the 13th, at the Barnes & Noble in Tyson's Corner Mall, that event starts at 7 p.m. as well.